being. So with little or young Raphael Sims Cody, I take you into the world of the ants, and for the first time, for a full quarter of the book, show you what ants really are doing, how they're organized, how they're communicating, it's like studying a society on another planet. And you get the first realistic view of these ants as they display to one another in tournaments, run colony against colony, you know, like military squadrons or parades passing one another to demonstrate their strength. When they go to war, it's all out and one wipes out the other. And they come in epic dimension when you get down with them, that in cycles, civilization after civilization, speeded up to turnover of 2, 3, or 5 years, and I hope you might find that interesting. But now we have to become to this matter of a red flag to my fellow Southerners. Namely, now is the time to save what we have. I hope this is a message that can be seen as global, too, because in the current environmental movement, we find success beginning. We are turning green. It is a pastel green globally, but most of it is focused, and this is true of political life, on the physical environment, on the depletion of natural resources, on pollution, on climate change, and so we know all those things. We do now, and we worry about them, but we have neglected disproportionately the living environment. And you know, the massive destruction going on of ecosystems, the species, many of them millions of years old, each one exquisitely adapted to its environment. We're wiping them out without even, in many cases, knowing what they are. So I propose Wilson's Law, modestly, Wilson's Law. And this has been mentioned in the New York Times, and I don't want to mention this in the presence of one of the forces of the Washington Post. But I would say that since it's been mentioned in the New York Times, Wilson's Law has, then it must be true. Well, anyway, Wilson's Law says, if you save the living environment, our ecosystem, the rest of life, you will automatically save the physical environment. Because you cannot save the living environment unless you take those measures that make the physical environment sustainable. But if you save only the physical environment and you ignore it, then you ultimately will lose them both. So this is the message I take to my fellow Southerners. I'm very active, incidentally, in their conservation movements down there, and I go and I'm gradually, you know, reasserting myself. And I'm using every method I can to sell the message. And I'm using the Billy Sunday method, lectures, books, pressures, letters, so on, and now a novel. Because, ladies and gentlemen, people respect nonfiction, but they read novels. So this is the Billy Sunday method. Do everything. Do whatever can give a little bit. And I call it the Billy Sunday because I have a record of Billy Sunday in the 1920s giving one of his great sermons. And I'm going to give it to you in his words and his accent right now. I hate sin. I hate sin so much I'm going to fight it till I can't move my arms no more. And when I can't move my arms no more, then I'm going to bite it. And when all my teeth are gone, I'm going to gum it. So that is what I have been doing. That is why I dared cross from the safe havens of fact-based nonfiction into the wild and woolly wilderness of the creative arts in that novel, and I'd now love to take some questions or comments. Yes.
Yes, hello. I almost feel like I need to apologize for this question because it's of a highly personal nature, but I feel a real need to ask it because I have the opportunity to have your presence. And you have someone like Stephen Hawking, who after a lifetime exploring the field of astrophysics, seems to have decided that the idea of the existence of God is a fiction, not a non-fiction. I was wondering, after a lifetime exploring the field of biology, what are your ideas on that issue?
I'm a scientist who tries to base personal beliefs on fact and on defensible theory. I think without any prejudice one way or the other about his opinions, Mr. Hawking has stepped outside the boundary and the clear responsibility of a well-known scientist.
No idea what he just said.
My name is Ginger, and hello from your friends at AAAS, by the way.
From where?
From AAAS.
Oh,
Good to see you here. This is wonderful. You talked about all of your efforts to help save the physical environment in the South, and I was just curious how somebody could get involved in whatever you're doing if they wanted to. Is there an official organization or?
yeah, that requires a rather lengthy answer, but let me just say, pick the geographic area you'd like to get involved in.